What is going on, party people? Welcome to PlayStation Generation Episode 3. My name is Matt, and I'll be your host for today's eclipsing events. I'm joined, as always, by the boss man, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
The boss man?
Yeah, I'm trying something new.
Damn.
How do we? No?
I'm not a boss.
You are to me.
No, I'm not. Don't
Yeah,
start.
you are.
We're just talking about how hot you were.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we were talking about some awkward things. Let's be honest here.
And
got real awkward.
And to our next host, who always comes in with a stream of good intentions and love, we got Rice. What's up, my dude?
Yo, what up, everybody? So good to be here. Hello,
Dude,
Matt.
Don't look at the
We
sun
missed
today,
you
people.
last week.
Yes, I know.
We missed you
Yeah,
last week.
Yeah, I missed you too, and I was so eager to be a part of that conversation, but daddy duty called and had to switch around some scheduling, and it just so happened I couldn't join you.
Of course, dude. Daddy duty always has to come first. We understand that here.
Jesus, Matt had daddy duty while doing his video, I noticed.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That baby was strapped to my chest, and I was like trying to time the question post in between her fussiness, and I got there. Definitely.
Yes, because if people don't realize, I was going to do the questions, but I have one eye that's kind of like, it's kind of shut a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. How you feeling, Court? You've been
I'm
battling
feeling
some
fine.
sickness?
My daughter's home again today, but today was only a half day missing school, so it's like whatever, get over it because of the don't look at the Sunday, right? So
Yeah.
And don't if you bought glasses from Amazon, don't use them day as well.
I've heard.
CBC put out a whole thing like they've taken them down from Amazon. All these glasses, even though they can they're coded and they say they're good to go, they're not. It's like a thing.
Dude, I saw this one TikTok comparing two sets of glasses that were both rated by whatever Eclipse organization does the ratings, and then they were look through this one. They put the camera through, and you could see everything. It's like you're wearing heavy sunglasses. They put the other ones on, you could not see shit. It was completely tuned out. So be careful, folks. If you're watching us live, then maybe you slid in here with enough time to understand. If you're watching this after, I hope you don't have a hole burned.
Yeah, if you're only if you're in our area, because I was just on a conference call with someone in Vancouver, another person in Florida, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you guys just don't get an eclipse today. You get a whatever."
Did you see those TikToks? Niagara Falls is charging $100 for parking.
Yes.
Oh, dude, it makes sense. Word. I will say this though: if you want proper glasses, I went to my optometrist. I just walked in. I was like, "Hey, do you have these things?" They're like, "Yeah, we have tons of them. Just no one comes here." I'm like, "You would think everybody would go to an optometrist."
Did not think about that.
They
sell glasses, people.
Yeah, fair.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It's also a cloudy day where I am, so I can't see anything. So it's you know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get 2 minutes of darkness in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And depending on where you are in the line, it's slightly less dark or more dark. And it's just I have a bunch of friends who are driving multiple hours away to try and catch it. And I'm just I hope you catch sun wherever you're going, because otherwise it's going to be a big old waste of time.
Totally.
Well, yeah, we're right. Okay. Rice and I are in the same angle, and you're a little bit less dark than us.
So I'm at 99%.
Oh, okay. So we're 98%, I think. It's not
get percented 1% right here.
Oh yeah, because you're that much closer to Niagara. I don't want to, give away
docs.
Here's your full mailing address, postal code, social security number, and everything else you might need.
I didn't think of it that where you are. I'm like, oh yeah, that is a straight shot. I'll just do this so then no one will know. It's a straight shot.
Yeah, just a straight shot.
It's for
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
On this week's show, friends, we're going to be talking MLB The Show. We're going to talk Helldivers, Knights of the Old Republic, Splinter Cell, and a whole lot more. So strap in and prepare thyselves. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us live, head to whatever podcast service you're listening on. Hit us at that 5 stars. We might have stuff coming up in the future where you might want to make sure you're subscribed, following, reviewing, all that stuff. So just, stay locked. And we appreciate you all, as always. Oh, yeah. Without further ado, Rice, it's been a minute since we checked in on your realm of video gaming. So hit me. What's been on? What have you been playing lately?
So last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about Rise of the Ronin, and I had just kind of started it, and I just want to say that I actually developed a pretty positive experience, moving forward in that. Now, maybe that's just my love for open world,
or that your character looks exactly like you in the game.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on my character. I don't know if anybody follows me on socials, but yeah, clearly I like that stuff. maybe it says a little bit about how much I care about what I look like in games. So
Respect.
Usually part of my likeness. And I'm honestly still on Rebirth. I can't get off it. But tonight I am gonna start DD2, Dragon's
Nice.
Dogma. And so I'm excited to really
that's
dive
3 games
in.
on the go.
That's 3 games on the go right now. I'm
Dude,
gonna
do that.
kind of lay off Rise of the Ronin now, and because I think I've put in my hours, and so Dragon's Dogma is probably going to take most of my time these
So
days.
what's your 1-minute review of Rise of the Ronin?
1 minute review.
1 minute review with rice right now.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
Combat's great. Graphics don't look that good, but the story is compelling enough for you to keep playing.
Rice doesn't know what a minute is. That was Rice's 10-second review of Rise of the Ronin.
I was trying to be efficient, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
He was really efficient there.
I went 2 bullet point and not enough explanation. We're good though.
Yeah, we good.
For both of you playing Rebirth, I wanted to ask because it was brought to my attention because one, I get lambasted for not wanting to play this game on a regular basis. I think at this point, Matt doesn't because he knows he got me to play 16 last year. Like that's a task in itself. And I played the Stellar Blade demo. I will try games. I enjoyed Visions of Mana for God's sakes. Yeah. But I heard there's a boss battle in Rebirth that is like throw your controller boss battle because
Yep.
All right. I heard it's way too long for no reason, and they make you fight it by yourself, and it's like it's so annoying.
So anybody what chapter are you on in Rebirth now? Right?
We're good. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so this is actually a carryover. This is a boss that you fight in Remake.
Yeah.
And I forgot how bad it was in Rebirth. I almost quit on that game in that boss fight. I almost took my controller and planted it straight through the TV and then out the window just for good measure. For anybody who's unaware, slight spoiler, I'm just gonna say the boss's name and a little bit of the thing. I won't give you any more about that.
Just say the guy with the gun. Just don't.
He's the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
And anything you do to him, he immediately counters. And you have about a 1 second window when he's reloading to get to him. I was texting Bobby being like, what? Why is this a thing? Forget it. Like, this is ridiculous. And then I went online and I found some strategies and I ended up taking him down by like a hair.
Supposedly they're going to patch it, by the way.
Awful. Like, it's just, it's, I saw this comment on Reddit talking about it. That was like, that boss fight takes everything the game has taught you, throw it out the window and zeroes in on a gimmick that is entirely unnecessary. So it's just like, and there's only like one way to really take that boss down is you have to essentially spam one move that like warps you over to him immediately to kind of score a couple hits in before you're dodging until you find that window again. It's infuriating.
And he can kill you very quickly. I watched the video on it and I watched someone who like loves the series. And then I was just like, I can't wait to talk about this because this was one of my issues with 16. I'm like, dude, I just like, why do they got to do this? And then I see this and I'm like, well. But the good news is Square Enix is like, yeah, maybe it sucks. Okay. Maybe we'll fix it. So supposedly they might patch it.
But it's just like, he was in the first one. And people were pissed then. And then they were like, you know what? Let's double down. Let's do this again and make it more annoying.
Let's see what they say.
Yeah.
So
maybe they didn't get it the first time.
Because of that, I will never play this game.
That's fair, man.
That one boss battle is just an unfortunate moment.
Game Ranks just did a video and made it number 2 worst boss battle ever.
I would probably put it in my top 5. It was atrocious. Not because
terrible.
It's like you don't have to like learn the patterns or anything. It's literally just pray to God you hit him in this literal second.
Right.
These few frames of animation, and otherwise, like, good luck.
Yeah, it's pretty thoughtless.
Yeah.
The person said that Bloodborne and like Souls games are easier than this boss fight.
Ooh, there's a statement.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't entirely disagree because at least that you like once you learn the pattern and figure out what you need to do, that's fine. This is like literally spam a couple moves and pray.
He compared it to, I guess there's a boss fight in Elden Ring where there's 2 bosses at the same time and it's almost like virtually impossible, but it doesn't always have 2. It's sometimes gonna have 2 and it sometimes can have 1. It's like when you walk in that room and there's the 2 bosses in Elden Ring, this boss fight is worse. I was like, oh my god,
it's atrocious. It's atrocious. But I'm glad that Dragon's Dogma 2 is up next for you, Rice. I'm gonna hop into myself because I'm just gonna use that as a transition. I finished Dragon's Dogma 2 a few days ago. I spent like 30 hours with it to finish it out. I was just like hooked and enamored the entire time. I know there's a lot of complaints online. Some of them rightfully so. The performance wasn't always a massive factor for me. I didn't have anything game breaking. Would 60 frames per second have been nice outside of the time when you point your camera up at the sky and it kind of goes above 30 for a little bit? Yes. But like once I was in it, I honestly didn't notice. It didn't take away from the experience.
Matt, that's not what the internet says. Frame rates matter all the time.
I'm not saying
especially
they
the
don't
games
matter.
that are not Twitch shooters, especially those games.
100%. Where are my 280 frames per second? If that's the thing, I want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I really, really loved it. The game was a ton of fun. I was just constantly running around and just killing stuff because it was just the combat is just so much fun to do. I was texting Steve while I was finishing it because there are a couple different endings that you can get. So I finished the one ending. I was like, I'm going to go for the true ending. There's more here. And then I looked it up what it was. And I was like, never mind, forget it. That sounds like a level of hell that I'm not interested in entertaining.
Witcher 3 type level of hell? Like,
well, it's just
the ending of Witcher 3, just wow. Like, it takes way too long.
It's not even that. It's just that everything ramps up in difficulty immensely. And now you're on a clock and there's all these things that they pile on top of it that I'm just like, this, for the right person, I'm sure this is amazing. For me, no, I don't want to bang my head against the wall. I enjoyed my time with this game. I don't want to sully it by trying to go the full distance. I'm happy with the experience that I had. I'm gonna move on.
Rice, I can't wait for like a couple years from now when Matt's like, I don't got time for any of this. Like, hey, I gotta play. It's gotta be like 10-hour experiences. That's all I got right now. I gotta go this on the weekend. I got this to do. I
have 4 kids' birthday parties on the weekend.
Yeah, like seriously, it's just not gonna happen.
It's okay. With the power of VR, I'll be at that kid's birthday party.
Oh, true. VR
with the game popped up and a kid right there. But yeah, I really, really loved it. And now I'm kind of finding myself in a bit of a gaming funk. Like I pulled up Like a Dragon Ishin because I never finished it last year. And I love that series dearly. And I just don't know what it is. Like I
think you need a stupid game.
It's just not clicking. There's one game that's sitting in the back of my mind, just nagging at me. And it's a very not Matt game. And it's the opposite of a stupid game. It's very like meticulous and like annoying from what I've heard, but if you vibe with it, you vibe with it immensely, and that's Pacific Drive. And I think I have just enough PlayStation Stars points to be able to, which is the best deal in gaming.
It actually is a very good deal. I'm not gonna lie. I think the way don't ever get the NFT crap, or sorry, what they call them trophies, but they're NFTs. Don't get those. Just use it to get the discount because you're buying the game. You're buying games anyways. At least they're giving me something now. I'm like, whatever.
Exactly. There's at least some sort of law of equivalent exchange going on here.
Nice reference.
Thank you. So I think I don't know. There's just something about it. I watched like the skill preview and I've seen some other content about it. And there's just something about it that's just sitting in the back of my mind.
Have you ever finished Psychonauts 2?
No, it didn't click with me.
I thought that would be like because it's such a stupid game. Like I don't want to call it stupid, but it's very intellectual game. But at the same time, it's fun. It's just like
it's silly fun.
Like I think you need like a perfect Astro bot, but we don't have that yet. Maybe we'll get it in an announcement, but we'll see. That you need, or like a Spyro.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm thinking about maybe going to Hellblade. I've never finished it, and like with the second one around the corner, like I'm thinking about just making it as easy as possible and just roll through.
The internet is nauseous with that. I just don't.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know. So I'm kind of like nothing. Like I've tried to get into I've tried to restart Dave the Diver on Steam Deck, and just nothing is like really hitting me right now.
Why don't you just don't play a game?
I don't know. What else do I do with my time? There's nothing else to do.
Are you caught up on Bleach?
I finished it.
Oh, you finished it?
Yeah.
Have you watched Ted, the TV show?
The movies made me want to vomit.
Dude, the TV show is hilarious.
Was there a TV show now?
Oh yeah, it's real good. It's real good.
Yeah, I don't know. I might dip into Pacific Drive and see if that scratches that itch because there's just something. It's just sitting in the back of my mind.
Or Matt, you could watch Back to the Future.
I could drive a car instead of watching people drive a car through. I don't know, whatever underground parking lot they do.
My kid seen all the Ghostbuster movies. She watched them all this weekend, and you still haven't seen them.
I'm proud of her. That's amazing. Good for her. I'm sure she was, not at all being like, if we watch this, Daddy will give you $50. I'm sure that wasn't part of
she's
the
all
conversation.
about. She wants to be a Ghostbuster for Halloween now.
Hell yeah!
wow.
Pop
Oh
off!
yeah. Like, look,
Let's
look,
go.
I got a trap behind me now.
Like she's gonna,
sick.
Yeah,
She wants
she
to be
wanted to
one of-
get it. She was like, she's all in now. She's like, we got to get proton packs. She's drawing Ghostbuster symbols.
And
It
she
was
wants-
definitely above her age group, but she loves it.
Oh,
I mean, and she wants to be one of the best Ghostbusters. That the reboot with like Melissa McCarthy, right? One of those ones.
Okay,
the best
so we
ones.
watched that one. Okay, here's the best part. So we watched that one. That is the only one of the only ones that's PG-13 for some reason. I think it's because of the jokes.
What are the others?
Some
Just
of them are
PG?
PG and some of them are PG-13.
Okay.
Then so what I got her to do is watch the new one with Paul Rudd because it's Paul Rudd. Like
It's Paul Rudd, man.
Yeah.
the best.
National treasure.
And plus I've seen it and I know it's not scary. So I'm like, she watched that one. She's like, can we watch the other one? So I was like, okay. So then we went to Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Because it's not scary at all. It's just about the slime. Ghostbusters 1 has some questionable scenes. You know, the Keymaster, the Gatekeeper. There's only one way to make that work. So what I did was there's a web page. I don't have it. I wrote it down. I've got to get it. It's you can go to and get the timings of things to fast forward. So we watched that. So then on the set, then she's like, can I watch the first one? I was like, yes. And my wife's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, don't worry about it. So when they come out of the hotel and he's like, we kicked their fast forward like in a second. He never says the word. She never hears the swear word. So I was able to any spot because I remember some of them. I'm like, she already didn't care about the dog. That doesn't scare her. So I'm like, all right, the ghost dogs, she's fine. So there was just the swear words. I was able to fast forward. And then when the Gatekeeper and the Keymaster make Zool, I fast forwarded that part too. She don't need to see that. Right. Or when Dan Aykroyd's character gets a Hummer from the ghost, she didn't need to see that. Fast forwarded that as well. But she was able to watch it by just be fast forwarding certain parts. And then we watched the Melissa McCarthy one. She didn't like it at all.
Really?
Didn't like it at all.
The only good Ghostbusters movie.
She liked 2 the most, which is hilarious. She really liked 2. She thought 1, she goes, this is a very old movie. I'm like, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. She really liked Paul Rudd version was was top tier for her. But I won't let her go see Frozen Empire because they go too far in the scary parts and there's just no way she can watch. Yeah, it's good, but it's scary.
Right.
Well, outside of Ghostbusters, I've talked about my stuff. Bryce has talked about his stuff. What have you been playing? What's been keeping your attention? I'm sure it's a new game, not at all one that you've previously spoken about.
It's definitely something I've spoken about, but I wanted to talk about it more. I ranted about it while Matt joined me on 3 Dads in the Console last week for his first appearance on the Dad Show. He had made his debut on the Dad Show. So MLB The Show had its first major content update. Now, MLB The Show is known as a game that doesn't really ask for your wallet. It's not pay to win. Just recently, they did their first content update where they did something different. So I don't think they're full-blown pay to win yet, but I think it's a slippery slope that they're on right now, where they give us these programs and they gave us this Team Affinity season chapter 2 is coming, but they gave us these storylines, which I love. Talking about the Negro Leagues, it is phenomenal. You get to do these awesome like setups going through it and all that. But they gave us these new programs where you go to earn cards and packs that you use, these season awards. Now, those 2 cards you can get, but those cards you can get as well. But the season awards drop is a pack. I can't earn that by playing the game. I have to pay money, which is $30 Canadian, to get that. You can earn it in the game, but they've made it harder to earn stubs this year. They don't reward you by giving you good cards in the packs or giving you packs like this so that you can sell those cards so you can buy this. They're making it so they're asking you to spend. The community is in an uproar. They've been doing things just recently by like giving us these free packs that have showed up, and they're giving us all these ways to like sort of make it right. And even last week they had an error for 24 hours where some people lost all their progress in the game. Some people still haven't got it back.
No way.
Everything disappeared. They did an update in the game and everything disappeared. I was lucky. I didn't lose it. But in the past, this pack season awards 1, it would have been something you could earn in the program. Yes, you could still buy it in the store, but you could still earn one of them. And the way they do it is they have a rare round and a non-rare round, but for $30, you should just be getting the rare round if you had to buy this.
Yeah.
So they're only doing it with one pack each week. But for me, I feel like it's a slippery slope. They're not 2King it and EAing it where pretty much everything is pay to win. Like for me, I don't play PvP, so nothing is pay to win for me. It's all offline, but I like the card collecting aspect and playing the game. But like, they're not giving us chances to earn stuff, which is very frustrating this year.
Totally.
And I talked about it with Matt last week, and at first I was like, oh, it's not pay to win, but I feel it's more of the slippery slope now. That's my opinion on it. I think they're on the cusp of it, and I get developers, getting their money, and I don't know how it works on the back end, but it's always been known as that game that rewards the players for playing it, and they're slowly getting into the model where they're not, and they're gonna lose their player base for this.
So let me ask you this, Court, because like you and I spoke about this on Three Dads, and I kind of said like it is still pay to win. It's just not egregious as of yet, but it feels like they're testing the waters. They're trying to see what they can get away with. If this came out and nobody said anything, then none would have been the wiser. They would have continued on. Do you think, because correct me if I'm wrong, MLB The Show went multi-platform last year or the year before?
Year before.
Okay, so do you think that like now that they're on a wider base, they have a wider audience, they were only on PlayStation before, and now that they're kind of branching out and they're kind of becoming, if they're not already, the de facto multi-platform baseball game.
They're the only baseball game pretty much.
Okay, so there you go. So do you think that that could be a byproduct of them going in that direction? Because now they've seen it work across other franchises, across other sports, and now they're like, let's kind of start to toe the line, see how far we can push the envelope before.
I just think they like money. I think it's
that's what I mean.
I think it's let's see how much money we can make, because I'm sure bonuses are tied to this and all that. Like I've spoken to other people, and like the EA people, they always talk about it. Like people always say, oh, this is Sony's. No, this is definitely Sony San Diego's choice to do all this. I think they're trying to see if they can make more money off the game, and all to them. All the community is asking is, hey, you can charge us for packs. They've done this before. We have zero issue with that. But in the past, what they've done is they let you earn one somehow. This year, it feels like they're very stingy. Like they're not giving us headliner choice packs, all these types of packs. They're not giving them to us in maps or any of the modes at all. They're only available if you purchase them. So for everybody in the community, they're like, you're putting a paywall on the good cards for the PvP people. For me, I don't play PvP. I'm literally just playing offline all the time. It's not pay to win. That's why I said to you, I don't think it's pay to win, but I'm an offline player. For an online player, it's 100% pay to win, because you can go up in teams playing ranked seasons and stuff like that. Like Kyle from the Trophy Room, he's playing ranked seasons or Battle Royale program. He needs the best cards possible,
right,
to complete these programs, and that means you're going to have to buy these packs, which sucks. Like, I understand if they gave it to us, they give us one, because there's 4 cards you can choose from, right? It's the rare round, the non-rare round. If they gave it to us and we had a chance to get 1 out of the 4, a lot of people still end up buying them to complete collections. So it just feels disingenuous, because they always pride themselves on being the sports game that doesn't do that, and they're doing it this year.
Gotcha.
I truly think, to be totally honest, that they will pivot. Because I've seen on a weekly basis them like, here's a free diamond, here's a free Mookie Betts. I'm like, you guys didn't do this last year. This year, you're like, here's this free thing, or here's this other thing, like this egg thing that you saw in there before. It was this program that they had, and they didn't tell anybody, and they took it away. And we were like, what are you doing? You didn't put it at an end date. You just took this away, so now no one could earn this. That's not cool. So now they're like, okay, here's a new way you can keep spamming it to get it. Well, I think they're trying new things, and with everything you can make mistakes. I truly think if they want to keep this game being probably one of the most popular sports games for this mode, they're gonna have to pivot. And if they don't, someone like myself is probably going to walk away from playing it on a yearly basis. Yeah, I'll play it for a bit, but it's not going to be the thing I play all the time.
It's not going to be like the investment that it is for you right now, because
if they're not rewarding me, I'm not playing it.
Rice, I'm curious your take on this.
Yeah, I feel the same way. There's a huge tension here, just because there's this part of me that's like, I have to accept where business models are going, but I also, you know, we grew up in a time where we were given every piece of content in a game for paying the price that we paid. And so I totally empathize with the community on this, especially in a game that promises and that promise to do essentially to fight for the people on this, right? And then to kind of do this out of nowhere, you know, there could have been some sort of dialogue or something, but
There wasn't at any
but
point.
there wasn't, right? So it feels a little bit, it feels like a punch in the gut. So I do empathize with that a lot.
Like big streamers of this in the community are all like they're like I'll give a perfect example. NHL 24 this year. It started off great, and then streamers, everybody just stopped playing it because they were like, there was too much gotchas in it. It was just like EA's just they've gone too far. They've become 2K. Like 2K literally had slot machines in their game at one point, for God's sakes.
Yep.
That's they're going. NHL went down that line, and I stopped playing it. I just stopped playing the game. LB the show's not there yet, but if they keep this up, they're there, and it's just I'm not going to play that game anymore. That's not fun to me.
Yeah,
like it's just for the whales, the ones that are going in and are spending all this kind of money.
And it's like, it's one thing if, again, like you as a player have the money and you want to support, and for you, it's a way to fast track because maybe you don't have a ton of time, but it's another thing to take away that ability to get there if you don't have the funds. It's also like accessibility, right? Like if I have time, but I don't have money, I still want to get to the same place. It might take me a little bit longer than somebody who does have the funds and the disposable income to throw it at that. So it's like you mentioned, Rice, it's like I'm caught at this like in between point where like I understand development costs have gone up. I understand that it is games are more expensive now than ever before. I understand that all of this is a factor, but like how do you do this properly? Like I think that's there's a larger question around that.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think Ubisoft does it fine with their Assassin's Creed franchise, where you can pay to level yourself up quickly, but you don't have to. You can pay for that. I have zero issue when companies put in those type of add-ons where they're like, you can pay for this cosmetic or this. Like the cosmetics don't give you advantage, but you can pay for this thing, but you can also still earn it in the game. That's where MLB The Show used to do that. And that's what I'm saying. Like now they've decided you can't earn this in the game. The only way to get it is buying it. And it's like, nah, man.
Reward players for the time that they put in.
Yeah. Reward me for my time.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, Court, I hope you keep us posted on how all of this evolves over the next couple weeks, but I want to go to a Rice-centric news story because
you're welcome.
Bungie will showcase delayed Destiny 2 expansion in the final shape next week. This is coming from Tom Ivan over
this week
at BGC.
Yes.
So that means this week. The studio will stream a half-hour developer gameplay preview tomorrow, April 9th at 12:30 p.m. EST. It'll be followed by the worldwide premiere of Into the Lights launch trailer. It was officially delayed back in November, given the launch date of February, before now pushed to June 4th. So it says here the final shape is the culmination of the first 10 years of Destiny storytelling, and for Guardians everywhere, countless hours spent together. Rice, you're a big the Destiny dude. What does the final shape need to do for it to stick the landing? Because I understand there's been some turbulence along the way. I understand the community isn't exactly happy with the state of the game currently.
It's not. It's not in its final shape, they would say.
Good one. What does it need to do?
It really does need to come through with a big bang. I recently heard Datto, which is a big Destiny creator on YouTube, say this is essentially expected to be the Avengers Endgame of the Destiny and of Destiny 2 and the culmination of everything that's happened thus far. And so it's in such a weird state, to be quite honest. And one of the biggest issues that has been recurring throughout the life of Destiny 2 is player retention. And every time content is released, there is this hype around it, and they do well to communicate with the community about what's coming. And I do believe that veterans, players who have been playing since Destiny 1, when it was just on console, are genuinely excited to get back into it. But the culture is somewhat it plateaus at a certain point. You spend maybe like a week grinding all of that content, and then all of a sudden, because you've grinded out that content, there really isn't anything else for you to get back onto the game for.
Okay.
And there is a lot of stuff now that they put in your face that costs money. And so I do believe with all of those factors into play, it is difficult to buy into that. But all that said, this is the last hoorah kind of thing. This is the last thing that people are really looking forward to. Funny enough, before this recording, I reinstalled Destiny 2. And it's taken forever to install because there's just so much, even with content being vaulted. So I guess all this to say, I'm reluctantly excited.
Okay.
But I am looking forward to kind of jumping back in and interacting with some old friends and old players. And my sister and I did a lot of Destiny content together. So there's lots of reasons for us to go back. It is a matter of like, I think for us, if I'm being completely candid here, it's a sense of loyalty to the studio, the story, and the game at this point, more than it is us expecting it to be an amazing thing.
Do you think this will be the end of Destiny 2 and then you'll eventually get whatever the new Destiny is?
I think they should. I think that it should be the end. There have been tons of signs to move on. I know that there is such a big kind of loyal fan base there, but perhaps the flame is going out. So I think that a great move would be to finish off really big and really strong, and and give the fans exactly what they want, So we'll see. It's kind of up in the air for a lot of us who have invested that much time, days and days and days of logged hours into this. So we'll see.
Well, I'm excited to hear your thoughts come June, because it does sound like there's a lot riding on this one, especially because this is rumored, I think, to be like you mentioned the final chapter. So let's see if they can finish strong. I hope that they do.
I certainly do.
Moving on to our next news story, Helldivers 2 is getting a Democratic Detonation War Bond launching next week, or is that this week? 11th, this week. This is coming from Tom Ivan. It's going to include new weapons, armor, capes, and emotes. The Democratic Detonation will be released on PlayStation 5 and PC on April 11th. There's a whole bunch of new rifles, crossbows, grenades, and a whole lot more here. I'm gonna play this.
Dude, not even that. There was a minute today where there was no one.
I was about to pull that up.
A minute today where there was no one to fight in the game. I'll continue to say this. They have done such a phenomenal job on marketing of this game. It is unreal. Like, I haven't jumped back in because we were playing other games, and I'm now into the show. I would love to actually this weekend possibly do some diving and get back into this game, because one, every time you jump back into this game, I jump back in on Wednesday just to get some stuff. They reward you with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So for everybody else playing this game, I still get stuff, which is amazing. But like even today, that little marketing bit of like, we've officially taken over the automatons and all the, and then you have 1 minute, and then everything came back. It's like, oh my God.
It's just so funny. Humor. The tweet here today, Super Earth Citizens celebrated the full eradication of the automatons. Additionally, to reward their bravery, each Helldiver has been issued an extra 1 minute break. Note, 1 minute is inclusive of the time taken to read this. Helldivers currently deployed are ineligible. Like, hilarious. And what I want to say here, that like, I'm kind of shocked at the speed at which all of this is happening. The game came out less than 2 months ago. And already the automatons have apparently been eradicated. There's been ships in the sky from the Illuminate. There's been new weapons. There's been new war bonds. The clip of new content that has been coming out feels like this is like the 6 month point for most other live service games. This will be the point where 6 months in, you've been doing the same thing for months now. And now we're going to possibly start looking at adding other stuff in. So
like Destiny 2 fans.
Exactly. So like this just feels like they're moving at such a quick pace, and I feel like they have a plan and they're sticking to it, which is fantastic.
Dude, not only they're using an engine that doesn't exist anymore.
Like, what do you mean?
Dude, the engine that they built this game on no longer exists. Like no one uses it anymore.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And they're just they are the hardest working team right now. Like they just wow. It's almost like, and I'll say this: when we saw all the previews, this game was ready to go, but they wanted to make sure that they launched it with content. Like they have now created the new roadmap of how you do this. Like the fact that they give us a roadmap, but they don't. But like every day they'll like throw out these new tweets, and you're like, you son of like how they introduce the mechs and how they have done such a phenomenal job, and also how they're letting the community give ideas and like for accessibility or like for graphics and stuff like that. They hired this one artist that kept doing all this work. They hired them for their team. Like they have done such a good job. Like, or when that person was like, this game's not political, and the developer just like chimes back and is like, have you not played this game?
Yeah, they're like, do you not get it? Like, do you not get it? And like
he put like for democracy and put the guy's face of like,
and like you're 100% right. Like having this like game overlord that literally just like walks into games and like drops mechs, drops vehicles, drops like completely unreleased content, and they're like, here you go, let's just enjoy it, see what happens. Like what a great way to like pull all this in. And I'm going to pull VGC in again for one quick second here because Helldivers 2 sales outpacing Spider-Man 2 in the UK. This is coming from Andy Robinson.
Dude, this is game of the year for me right now. And I don't think there's a game that's going to take it.
Like best-selling game in March for a second month. It's trending ahead of where Spider-Man 2 was at the same length of time. Obviously, that's a story game versus a constantly evolving whatever. There's things there.
But so many constantly evolving games that come out and just flop on its face.
Oh, I agree. But it's just like it's incredible to see that they're keeping it up, and this game is just incredible. And from a game that went like I feel going into it, people were just sleeping on to this like insane eruption that this game has had, and the continued support that the game is getting is just fantastic. I'm with you, Court. Like it sits in the back of my mind still, and I want to hop in and play more just because it's just so much fun. It's just so good.
I was out until that state of play when we watched, and you were like, Court, it's the Division in space. And I'm like, and then I started playing, and I'm like, I can't stop. Like I truly think if it wasn't for Rise of the Ronin, I would have only been playing Helldivers and MLB The Show and nothing. But then I had to do a couple of reviews, and it took me out. And then when I jumped back in, like I almost jumped back in last Wednesday with Matt. I was like, I'll go in and I'll get my cape. And then I'm like, should I do a couple runs? I'm like, because the loop of the game is great. And the fact that every time you go into the game, pretty much on a weekly basis, there's something new to do. And the community wrapping around of like everybody working together. And I'll still say this. I have friends that are only like Call of Duty bros and Madden and NHL bros that are playing Helldivers too.
Yeah.
So many people I know are playing this game. Like I have friends that are like, you could either, if you have a PC, I can't believe, I wish it was on Xbox so you could get more players for this game. I've said this before. If the game is a live service game, it should be available on all consoles.
Right.
Yep.
All platforms.
Yep. Yeah. Helldivers just stays killing it. Like this, just congrats to them. Like just like again, the first game was already amazing, and to just completely evolve on your second step in a way like this is going to go down as one of the biggest glow ups of all time from original to sequel. Like good for them.
Yes.
Let's hop into our next story because Knights of the Old Republic apparently still exists. This is coming from Console Creatures ourselves. It's still in production according to where we go. Yeah, Saber Interactive split from Embracer Group last week, and CEO Matthew Kark spoke to IGN and said the project was underway. Without going into specifics, Kark confirmed that the Knights of the Old Republic were brought over from Saber after the split from the Embracer Group, and the title is still in active development. It's clear and it's obvious that we're working on this, he said. It's been in the press numerous times. What I will say is that the game is alive and well, and we're dedicated to making sure we exceed customer expectations. Rice, are you a big KOTOR guy?
So I missed this. This was not a part of my canon. That said, I watched a lot of people play this, so I know about it. I know literally everything gameplay wise. I just never had the controller in my hand.
I'm the same. I missed this when it came out. Court, did you?
I did not miss this.
Okay,
I played every second of this one. I played this on PC a lot. Yeah, well, so growing up, growing up, my brother was a huge PC dork, and he would have everything new. That's the only reason I ever played this game. I came into my basement one day, and I was home seeing my parents, and my brother was still living. It was just when I just moved out, And I hopped in and I sat down and played, and like 4 hours later, I was still sitting at the PC and playing. And then I got it on, I think it was Xbox, regular Xbox. Yes. First Xbox. And then, was it Xbox? It was one of those. It was either Xbox or PlayStation 2. I can't remember. It's one of them because it was only on the one console. But
Xbox.
Xbox.
It would have been
Xbox. Played the living daylights. This is the first game where I needed to hook my Xbox up to the internet. Like, it was just, this is the game. Like, it destroyed everybody. Like everybody I was talking to, because we all, growing up, I was Star Wars. We didn't get Star Wars. Like, everybody complaining now that we get all this content, right? They're like, oh, we got the prequel. We didn't, like, even when the prequels came out, I didn't hate it. It was just like, oh, thank God I'm getting something to do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So when Star Wars video games came out, they were like a thing. Like, we couldn't stop playing them. Like Rogue, all those games. Like there was the Boba Fett game or whatever. There was a
Rogue
whole
Commando,
bunch of,
whatever.
Yeah, something like, I can't remember.
All those next ones, yeah.
When those games came out, they were like, this is our Star Wars content. Like, this is all we have.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get it. Like, people get all the Star Wars stuff all the time. So I'm really curious on the reception, but I do think that all those 30 pluses are going to be all over this game like it's nobody's business. And so my question is it still a PlayStation only?
That's I think part of the conversation, because some of the hullabaloo online seems to say that like PlayStation doesn't want doesn't want to be involved anymore, that the state of the game maybe isn't what it should be. Are you confident in Saber Interactive's ability to pull off this game on the scale on which it needs to be? Because I feel like everything that I see, they say like, this is the game that needs a budget. This is the game that needs the manpower, that needs the time, this is one of the most iconic games of all time, full stop, for a lot of people. It is one of the definitive RPGs. And given Saber Interactive's pedigree, they don't really hit the mark often if they don't entirely miss the board. How are you feeling about them being the ones to kind of shepherd this into the light? Are we nervous?
Very scared.
Oh, good.
Because I look at the Star Wars Battlefront that just came out, that was absolutely atrocious and trash, and like the servers weren't working. This game is going to have a lot of people playing it, like a crap ton of people playing it. And if it's not done to where the fan base wants, they're gonna hear about it. They can't just put out a lackluster port. They need to put out a from the ground up, but have the gameplay and the mechanisms all feel the same.
Yeah.
And they need the servers. Like, if they have any server issues, this game is gonna die.
Isn't this game single player?
Well, yes, but you're still gonna have everybody playing it.
It's
like,
MMO.
It's MMO. Like, you're
KOTOR is an MMO? Wasn't that a different one?
No, I'm pretty sure it's MMO.
I'm pretty sure this version I'm pretty sure this version they're bringing out. He's right.
I could have sworn that KOTOR was,
unless we're thinking. I thought what we heard about this game, it's definitely going to be a MMO.
That's what I thought.
Because there was another Old Republic MMO that was a different game.
Okay.
Oh, I'm thinking.
I thought that this one that they were
the Old Republic. Yeah.
Yes.
Knights of the Old Republic was like the single player RPG.
They were going to put the two together on this version.
No.
Okay.
Different games.
So what they need to do is it needs to be the original, and it needs to be it can't, like I said, it can't be a port. It needs to look beautiful. It needs to be like the PS5 Pro, or that if it comes out or whatever, it needs to be the best looking game on the console. Because people can just go back and play the old one. It still plays well.
Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. I tried to get into it.
Yeah, so I thought that they were combining Old Republic.
No. Two different games. Yeah, two different.
No, I know they're two different. I thought that for this they were doing the.
No. This is like their.
So then, to be totally honest, they could pull this off.
I hope you're right.
I really hope I'm right. I don't want to get disappointed. You get all your Final Fantasy games, and I barely get anything half the time.
Dude, I hope this comes out great, because I'm genuinely excited about it. I tried to get into it a couple of years ago, and it just felt dated. Like, the gameplay just wasn't exactly.
It's terrible now, but it's still fun.
So that's what I mean. Like, I want them to like come out and knock this out of the park, because I would love to play an updated version of what that story is, because I've always heard incredible things.
Because all I remember is we got that teaser trailer, and
That's all it's been. That's all we got.
And at the time, there was just all this game has had is rumors. Like the fact that the trailer got taken down, and like there's so many things that they could squash this. Even this statement of like we're still working on it was like, whatever.
Show us something. Like shut us up. But
so it is supposed to be on PC and PlayStation 5.
Yes. Oh, it has to be on PC.
Yeah.
That's your like I said, Helldivers 2, the smartest thing they did was putting that game on PC.
Yeah, because it's selling ridiculous. Our next story, coming once again from Console Creatures, is that Tales of Kinzera, Zhao, and Dave the Diver launched day one on PlayStation Plus. They're both coming on April 23rd. Tales of Kinzera Zhao looks incredible. We saw it at the Game Awards, and of course, Dave the Diver was a standout darling from last year. Godzilla's coming to Dave the Diver in May, so that's the thing that's happening. And both of these are hitting PlayStation Plus on April 23rd. I am stoked about this. These are both games that I am like. I've been trying to play Dave the Diver. Tales of Kinzera looks fantastic. Both of these games are fantastic gets for day one on Plus. I'm super stoked about this. I'm glad that they were getting a certain pedigree of game that is hitting day and date on the service, which is what Court and I have been asking for years. So like I'm stoked to see that we're getting 2 in 1 month, and I hope that this kind of clip of content that we're getting on Plus continues to keep up day and date, because
you have what? Sea of Stars, Stray.
There's been a few others that I'm forgetting, but yeah, I think this is awesome. I'm stoked about both of these. Bryce, where are you at on these two hitting Plus?
Specifically with Tales, I just love the art style. I am a lover of anything animated, and with all the games that we kind of play that are hyper realistic in their aesthetic, I love when I can play games with this kind of aesthetics to immerse myself in a different kind of world. So anything from the colors and just the characters. And it looks like it says here he's on a quest to return his Baba from the realm of the dead and seeks the help of Kalunga, the god of death, to make a deal with him. So that's already an intriguing kind of premise for me. So I'm excited. I'm going to be playing this day one.
Well, the story was it Summer Games Fest, where he went out on stage and he talked about what the Game Awards about like his dad, and like,
and it was a little emotional too.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was the most memorable part, right? Like it's just like,
and I love that.
And I hate the fact that I got it confused between, but whatever. Summer Games Fest and Game, it's just whatever.
Same thing, different month.
Just pick one, dude. Don't have to be the center of attention all the time. And remember, Keely, you're Canadian. You can admit it. It's okay. It's so weird how he doesn't like Jesus. Just let it go. You're Canadian, buddy. But this is huge. Yeah. I want more of this. Do you remember at the beginning of the PlayStation 4 generation, we got Rezo, we got all these, we got all these indie games day and date on PlayStation. That's what I want, because those are the games that you don't know. And then you're like Guacamelee and all those games that we got in that generation that now I'm like, oh man, those games are amazing. So when that studio brings in something new, I want to play it. Shine those games. We all know about the AAAs. We all know they're eventually going to come to the service. I get it. PlayStation isn't going to do that anytime soon. Not saying they will never bring day and date on these things, but it's not happening anytime soon. But if we're going to continue to get these indies that I was looking forward to playing, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you make a great point, because if you fall in love, then you're that much more willing to buy the next one, right? Like if it's an unknown quantity for you, like that's a perfect reason to try these on a service. The devs get a pay cut up front and center, so that's a great. It's not an unknown quantity for them either, and you can hopefully buy into the ecosystem of what that developer is going to come out with next. I think this.
And I wonder when those checks were cut, because that was not talked about at the Game Awards.
No, that must be relatively recent, because both of those, again, fantastic gets. Let's talk about one more news story.
Stuck that, Xbox players.
Splinter Cell's remake news speculated at the Ubisoft Forward 2024. This is coming from PlayStationLifestyle.net, written by Zarmina Khan. Fans are speculating a long-awaited update on Splinter Cell Remake at Ubisoft Forward 2024. Yesterday, the developer announced its digital showcase for June 10th, helping to fill in the void left behind by E3. Shortly afterwards, hawk-eyed fans spotted a curious change on Ubisoft Toronto's Facebook page, where they were updated to have some Splinter Cell Remake headers and profile pictures. So it seems like we're getting some Splinter Cell-y goodness soon. I am personally amped about this. I loved Splinter Cell, especially the first few. Incredible, bringing back Sam Fisher. Like I'm stoked about this, to have this potentially redone from the ground up in today's era. I'm all about it. Rice, are you expecting like a faithful level-based remake, or do you think they're going to go bigger? Do you think they're going to go open world? Like, what are you expecting out of this remake?
That's an interesting question. I mean, what I loved about the early Splinter Cell games, and this was even before I became a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, is being able to play a stealth, strategic stealth gameplay. And I think I'd love for that to happen again. Whether that's on a bigger scale or not, I don't think that'll deter me from the hype, because I just loved all of the Splinter Cells. I mean, when Double Agent came out, that was also just like super iconic, and to be able to play with people. And so I don't know,
good, like
so good.
They're all good. I don't care.
Yeah, I love the whole franchise.
So good.
So good. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know how the approach would go if it was an open world, but you know, I am perfectly fine with a level-based Splinter Cell, kind of just rebuilt and pretty and all of the things Splinter Cell-y.
Court, do you think we're gonna have multiplayer in this? Because again, like we've mentioned, the co-op was such an integral aspect of that in the later games. Like, it was so good to have like one person crawling up, one person slinking down. Do you think we're gonna get multiplayer in the remake, or do you think they're gonna save that for a potential Splinter Cell live service title?
Well, I will say this: I'm glad that this confirms that we're definitely getting this game. Like, they've done so many Easter eggs in other Ubisoft titles, like The Division. In Division 1 and Division 2, there's tons of Splinter Cell references. Heck, the plane for Splinter Cell is in the Division 2. You get to like go through it. It's part of it's a level. My guess is it's going to be semi-open world, a la Uncharted 4. We're still going to be on a linear path. Open zone levels.
Yeah.
Where we're still on a linear path, where you can't really go in this box, but the box is a little bit bigger.
I see.
That's because if it's not a Splinter Cell, if you can't do things, run and gun, hiding, you got to be able to. You can't. I don't see how they would do it full open world. I don't know how that would work, unless you're doing it like a Metal Gear Solid, like unless you're doing like the Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain way. But even then, that wouldn't be a Splinter Cell game anymore. I think they need to make it in a little small box,
a little contained.
And yeah, I don't see how they don't have the co-op aspect in there, but I don't think that would be part of the main story. I think that would be a separate thing that you could do any level after you finished it in co-op,
like co-op levels that may be specific. I think that's a cool idea, because I'm curious to see what this is going to look like, because I think what a large part of what I loved about Splinter Cell was that it was a very tightly constructed level. Like, this is the level you have to kind of plan your way through it. This is where you need to hide bodies. It was very much like, there is a way to do this, and you need to kind of figure out the best way to do so. To take it and to make it bigger, I think would take a little bit away from that. But at the same time, if it is like Phantom Pain, that gameplay was so tight and it was so much fun, and having that openness was awesome.
I'm just thinking it would give us more options if you opened up just a tiny.
I don't disagree. I'm just curious to see how it'll come together.
Like, I can't remember, was it Black Cell where you started the level, you're in the water, and then you had to get the guy in the dock first, and then you had to go over the other side, get the other guy, but make sure that guy's walking. Like, it's just that type of stuff I want back, where it's like, that's not difficult to me. You know how I always want to play a game on easy mode? That's not difficult. That's strategizing. It's like playing chess.
Strategizing, totally.
It's like playing chess. Like, I can go kill those 3 guys over here, but then I've got to go on the other side of the map, kill this guy over here, so that I can get this guy on this map on this side, because these other guys can see him.
Yeah, it's planning it out. It's having a plan, and then when the plan fails, making another plan.
Totally. Like, I want hiding bodies to matter.
Yes,
like so many games where hiding a body doesn't feel rewarding. You don't have to do it, but Splinter Cell really like made you think about where you should hide something, because you could get caught.
Well, on top of that, it's just like, here is the body in a foot tall grass. I bet you can't see it. Like, this body right here. It doesn't matter.
Like Assassin's Creed games, you just sit there in the bush every 2 seconds. You're like, kill him. Like, if Assassin's Creed games were actual literal of when you're hiding the body, imagine the pile of bodies you would have in that haystack.
Yep.
And
it's
the,
like if
the
you're walking,
flies and like all the blood and like, come on now.
and
Yeah.
like everybody knows that grass is one of the best camouflage based tactics that you can possibly use. Like, let me put stuffs in freezers. Let me hide people in weird
Totally.
places. Like, I want like a cross between Hitman and Phantom Pain. Like, I think
Sure.
Splinter Cell nails that part, and I want that back.
That's perfect, Matt. A
Yeah.
cross between Hitman, the new Hitman.
Yes.
Well, actually, the new Hitman are bigger. Like,
Yes,
they could
I
do
know.
Splinter Cell like that, like the bigger map, like where you could literally do it in any other way. And maybe it's like, hey, where do you want to drop in on that map? Do you want to start here?
Exactly.
Three spots to
Right.
start on the map and then go from there. And that the
Ooh.
starting on the map is your difficulty, right?
Maybe I
So
want
if
to
you
play
want to,
Hitman.
if you're on this side of the map, it's very hard, medium hard. Like, pick which way you want to do
Right.
to come into to see how you do it, and that's how you get your points and your experience, because we know all that's coming.
We know
Yeah.
that's coming.
Make use of the light and the dark.
Yes,
Shoot
dude.
the lights
out
out.
light.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Disable the cameras. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
dude. Put on a disguise, like get in, get out.
So many
Toss on
things.
so many things. Folks, let's hop into the couple questions that we have as we round out the show. The first one coming from Josh O'Neill at RealDeal_J O'Neill. Sup, guys? First, so Josh thought that the Outlaws story trailer would be out already. It isn't. But his first question is, what's our hype level for Star Wars Outlaws? I think we can answer that regardless of that trailer. I'm incredibly excited. This looks like GTA in space, and I'm there.
Yep.
See, I don't think it looks like GTA in space, but I think it looks like an amazing Star Wars story that I want to play. Like,
Yeah.
so much want to play.
I'm
It's
excited
more
about the
Uncharted
story.
to me. It looks more Uncharted than GTA.
If his next question is, if we're getting a PlayStation showcase, what do you think we'll see? And he kind of extrapolates by saying, what's a game that you think is locked for that showcase? What's your long shot? And what's like your dream announcement? Thanks, guys. Have a great week. So if we're getting a showcase, what are you expecting to see that's a lock? Like, this is going to be the 100%, a long shot, and like pie in the sky, dreams are real.
If we're getting a showcase, when is this rumored showcase supposed to happen?
May again. Last time it was May. I'm assuming it's around
May.
It's gonna be May. I think that late May, early June slot again, like that E3 key.
I think we get Uncharted. It's a lock.
You think so? The new one,
Yeah.
Really?
with daughter.
I think that
True.
I think something had to have happened. Matt and I've talked about this on so many different episodes. The last showcase we got felt so weird and disjointed. Even the Gran Turismo commercial, so many things about it didn't feel like it even belonged. The pacing didn't make sense. We got Uncharted in that commercial. It was there. They put it in the commercial, and then all of a sudden we didn't get the lead up to the showcase. We're like, I don't understand. You put it in your commercial, but for some reason it didn't show up in the showcase. I think we get to see it. I think we finally get to see it, because based on the LinkedIn, Ghost of Tsushima is not ready yet to show us.
Okay, so your lock is Uncharted. Let's go around the horn across all three. I think that Ghost of Tsushima is a lock. I think we're going to see it. I don't think it's coming out this year. I don't even think it may come out next year, but I think it's time that we see it. Either that or Ben's game, whatever.
You only have to pick one.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go for Ghost. I think we're gonna see Ghost 2.
Man,
I hope you're right, Matt, though. I really do.
I hope I'm right too.
Only because I'm third, I have to agree with Matt.
Okay, then I'll pick Ben.
Yeah, okay.
You all gotta pick something.
Yeah. Ghost is definitely.
And I think Matt and I are gonna have the same. What do we want? The pie in the sky.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
What was the next one? Sorry.
Okay, so you think Ghost is a lock, right? So you think that one's okay.
So you're Ben. What do you think Ben's working on, Matt?
Whatever their open world next game is, that's not Days Gone. Whatever their new IP is, I can't hazard a guess as to what that is.
But they've been working on for so long.
But I think that's going to be whatever their new thing.
And Wolverine, by the way, for people listening, Wolverine would be a cop-out answer, and that's why we're not saying it.
Yeah. What's your long shot, Rice? What's your long shot? What's a game that you would want to see that you think there's a possibility, but probably not?
Oh, bro. Come back to me.
Okay.
Can Court go first?
Yep.
Astro's
your long shot?
Yeah, it's the game that I've been asking for, a new Astro game. I think it's time, especially if the rumored PS5 Pro is real, that you have the PS5 Pro come out and it has an Astro game on it.
I think Astro is more on the safe side than long shot, but
really,
I hope regardless. Yeah, I think that game is
We've been asking for it for so long.
I think that game is imminent.
We even have like a way we want this game to be made.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the tail end of this year / early next year. Like, I think that game is soon. My long shot is Uncharted. I think that there's a possibility. I think they're being so weird about it that I don't. Maybe it's just not ready yet.
We're agreeing it was in the commercial, though, right?
100%. I don't disagree with you whatsoever that it wasn't that commercial. But if it's ready or not, if they want to show it, I think that's a different question. And then
Has the happened?
No, it's at 3-something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I honestly was not prepared for this question.
It's a good question. That's the thing.
It's a great one. Yeah, it's a great one to think about.
Do you have a pie in the sky dream announcement then? Like, not even based in the realm of
reality. What PlayStation franchise do you want to see again? Just give one.
I'm thinking of one right now.
I'm gonna go my dream announcement. Kingdom Hearts, man, bring that back. They
really?
Given. I think that's a given.
No, I don't. Kingdom Hearts is weird, dude. They go like years in between, and like especially the trajectory.
If we're going pie in the sky, then I'm gonna say Infamous because I'm just gonna keep saying until it comes to existence.
I know
that's fair.
It's never gonna happen.
Hearts. Like that clip that we've seen looks incredible.
Well,
looks
like, Rice,
how far away are we from another Horizon?
The rumored MMO could be a thing. That could be something that we see.
I was actually going to say, Rice, what was the gun that we find in Horizon for what franchise? Could we get one? Could we get another Killzone? They hinted at it. How many times in Horizon did they hint at Killzone? They pretty much made me think that Killzone and Horizon are the same universe.
Killzone didn't get it didn't get the love that it
Shadowfall is a good game. I'm saying it. Yeah. I'm going to stick to it. I like that game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, SOCOM, is that one of their live service ones?
Matt, don't do that. Matt, don't do that. That's not Matt. Matt. I'm just saying. But they're not going to give us what we want. They're going to. That's not how this works.
You know what? They're going to end on a trailer for Twisted Metal Season 2 with a really out of place clip. Even though that show ruled, that one clip was so out of pocket during that thing.
Oh yeah, true.
All right, we got one last question from Steve Dugvari at SFvari, obviously coming in with something that's not at all going to make us argue. Hi, PlayStation generation, long time, first time. McDonald's versus Burger King, and there's a number of categories here. Best burger, McDonald's versus Burger King.
Burger King, the Whopper.
McDonald's, the Big Mac.
McDonald's, the Big Mac.
My boy.
I'm so sorry, Court.
Dude, there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I personally, growing up, loved the Whopper. Like back in the day when I did illicit drugs and we get super duper high, you could get junior Whoppers for like $1. So you could go in with a $5 and get like 5 junior Whoppers and just gorge, right?
Dude,
maybe it's because of the whole package, right? Because it's the fries for me, right?
Well, no, we're only talking the burger right now. I can choose fries from somewhere else. I saw the question.
Yeah,
so Big Mac still wins for me, bro.
Big Mac for me at McDonald's. I wish I actually like. Do you remember what was it? The Arch Deluxe. I thought that was a phenomenal hamburger because the spices that were on it, and then McDonald's got rid of it.
See, that's why you do the McGangbang. You take a junior chicken and you slap that in between a double cheeseburger, and you just
secret menu.
That sounds like something at my age I can't eat. Yep.
Well, best fries.
McDonald's.
This is all theoretical.
Best fries, yeah, McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
they're hot and crispy.
That's what I'm saying. Totally. I already saw the question. I can take if I can get a Whopper with a McDonald's fry. Damn.
Easy peasy.
Because the Burger King chicken sandwich is straight trash.
Best fountain drink syrup to water mixed.
Oh, that's never McDonald's. McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's. Yeah, the ice.
Yeah,
like it's just.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I understand the question now.
McDonald's Mountain Pop is
totally
S tier.
Yep.
Elite.
I would agree.
Best overall vibe at 1 a.m. Still McDonald's for me.
No,
I've been to McDonald's drunk as hell.
I'll take Burger King over McDonald's because there's less people there, and I don't want to be around a lot of people. So I'm gonna take the Whopper. I'm gonna take the Burger King all day long because McDonald's at 1 o'clock in the morning is so many degenerates and so many people just like all over the place.
It's fun.
I want none of that. None.
Well, I'm if I'm at McDonald's at 1 a.m., I better be trashed. So I might as well make friends.
I was a degenerate, and so
same.
and where I
don't want to see myself ever again.
Where I was at, Burger King and Wendy's weren't open at the time. So McDonald's was the move.
Find a Burger King anywhere nowadays. Jesus.
It's true.
Yep. And our final one was best nugs, which again for me, slam
Oh,
McDonald's.
that's McDonald's all day long.
Yeah, McDonald's, man. Like,
but I will say this, even though they're not in there, Mary Brown's, a Canadian franchise, has some of the best nugs around.
Mary Brown's is like over on the KFC Popeyes train. I don't think it's fair to
No, I understand. I was just when we talk about nugs, when we talk about chicken, you got me going. And like Mary Brown's
was nice.
During the pandemic, I decided to like try every chicken joint, every chicken sandwich, because the Popeye chicken sandwich is so popular. And then I tried it and I'm like, this is disappointing. So I'm like, all right, fine.
It's very okay.
Thank you. It is not this thing that everybody says it is. So then I was trying all of them. And it turns out for me personally, like I tried McDonald's, and McDonald's and Wendy's, like you try them.
Yeah, they're chicken. They're chicken.
Yeah. And then you got the Big Crunch from KFC, which is pretty dang good. But then you get the Big Mary from Mary Brown's. And then you find out that they're potato wedges.
The potato wedges, bro.
My God.
Dude, Church's has taken my top chicken spot.
But if I had to go all the way, guys, I know for a fact something's about to open up here in Toronto in a month and a half. We're going to get a Shake Shack.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
That's coming.
That's coming.
Live episode at Shake Shack?
Done deal. No problem.
Let's do
rendezvous at Shake Shack.
Done.
Can we kiss at the Shake Shack at midnight?
Yes.
No.
Yay! All right, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Court. If people wanted to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Three Dads in a Console, live on YouTube, or you can find me on social medias at Court Lalonde.
Rice, my dude, where can they find you?
Yeah, I stream every Thursday afternoon evenings on Rice Boy with 3 Ys TV. Rice Boy TV.
Make sure you go check both of those fine folks out. You can find me at X, the seminal social media platform, at Matt_SilverSoul. And of course, we each and every week here at Console Creatures, and my bylines at Console Creatures and But Why Though. Thank you so much for listening, folks. We will be back next week. Stay safe out there. Protect thy eyes. Peace.